I'll cover some trading basics and also show you our system, how you can learn and earn and potentially trade for free. So what is Forex? Forex stands for foreign exchange, or FX. If you've ever been to a foreign country, say the USA from the UK, and changed your pounds for your dollars at one of the local exchanges, then you will have taken part in the largest and most liquid market in the world. Now, if you go back to that exchange and change your money again at a later date, you will be generally offered a different exchange rate. It's this difference in exchange rates that we as foreign exchange traders use to profit from. As long as there's volatility in the market, we can make a profit from that volatility. Now, because exchange rates continuously change due to market participants coming in, going into and out of the market, there's always going to be volatility in the marketplace. And the amazing thing about Forex is that we can make money if the rates are going up or if they are coming down. It makes no difference to us. We just buy or sell our positions regardless of what the whether the market is going up or down. Now, again, I want to make it absolutely clear at this stage, we do not gamble. We make money by following trends, doing our analysis and getting ahead of those trends. We do not try and predict the market. In fact, predicting the market can be extremely dangerous, and that's certainly something we don't do. So how big is Forex? In April 2019, $6.6 trillion was exchanged in one day in the foreign exchange market. On average, $5.3 trillion is exchanged every single day in Forex. Forex is bigger than all the stock markets put together. Forex is absolutely massive, and every single bank more or less does Forex on a daily basis. And what got me going back a few years now was the fact that my bank was doing Forex with my money. My bank was making over $1 trillion every single day with my money while I was sleeping. And I thought to myself, surely this is something I could do myself as well. Now, at the moment, retail investors, people like me and you, make up to 20% of the market. And historically, you would have needed $1 million to trade in the foreign exchange market. However, today, because we have a system known as leverage, you can start with as little as £200. A little bit about cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency is a digital or virtual currency designed to work as a medium of exchange. The first cryptocurrency in the marketplace was Bitcoin, which was incepted in 2009. So cryptocurrency is digital money. If you're familiar with PayPal, you'll have a little bit of understanding of how cryptocurrency actually works. Now, PayPal allows you to send money to anyone, anywhere in the world with nothing more than their email address. Cryptocurrency is a little bit similar in the fact that you can send money to anyone, anywhere in the world, just by getting a unique identifier from that person. And all you need to do is download an app to your mobile phone. It takes 30 seconds to do this. Put your details in there and you can transact globally instantly. In the case of PayPal, you need the involvement of a bank. In the case of cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, there is no central control whatsoever. You do not need any banks to make your transaction. And because of this, because cryptocurrency has no central control and it's peer-to-peer, cryptocurrency cannot, and I emphasize, cannot be shut down. Cryptocurrency is a little bit like the internet. However, it's much bigger. Cryptocurrency cannot be shut down regardless of what you hear in the press. Now, a little bit about myself and my story. Going back a fair few years now, I was always told to work hard, go to school, get good grades, go to university and get a good job, like most people. And I did that. I went to university for 8 years. I've got a PhD in mathematical modelling, in engineering, and also an MBA from a top university in the UK. Even after that, I was working in the city, earning not far off 6 figures a year, but I was paying a lot of taxes and working up to 80 hours a week. And that's when I decided that working in a job, a job, was not for me. And so I started building my business while, in fact, I was working as a consultant, and even prior to that at university. If I fast forward to today, I've actually been in business now for over 2 decades. This is my 3rd decade in business. I've written business books and also have a huge social media following, and I mentor students, not just on cryptocurrency and Forex trading, but also business in 25 countries or so. And as I stated before, I've been actively involved in the currency markets now for well over 3 years. I started off by mining cryptocurrency and moved on to trading very soon after. Now, I firmly believe that you will be presented with at least one life-changing opportunity every single decade of your life. And I've seen 3 such decades of opportunity, certainly in my business life. If I go back to the 90s, I was very, very big in property. I was buying property all over the place, not just in the UK, but in a few of the countries around the world as well. And when it came to property investing, excuse me, what I noticed was that my average yield, my average return on property was generally between 8 and 12% a year. Now, if I compare that to, say, Forex trading, you can make 8 to 12% in a single day if you know what you're doing. Obviously, not every single day, but it is possible to make a yearly return that you would achieve in property in a single day from the Forex market. Now, if you look at your monthly rental from property and multiply it by 12, and you get the yearly rental, I can quite often make more than that in one single day from Forex. So Forex can be extremely profitable compared to property investing. Now, again, when I look back on my property career, on average, I was spending £10,000 to £50,000 as a deposit per property. Now, obviously, it is possible to buy property, no money down, and using other people's money. However, when it comes to property investing, because it's a very capital intensive investment, you always need access to money in case things go wrong. And just to give you an example, going back a few years now, I had 3 boilers in 3 properties go down on me within the space of 2 months, and that cost me about £9,000 to £10,000 to fix. I've had roofs go on properties and all kinds of things. Tenants haven't paid their rent, and you always need access to capital when you're in property investment. Now, if I compare that to Forex trading, the deposit on Forex, you can start with as little as around £200. So it's nowhere near as the barrier to entry for Forex is a lot lower than it is for property investment, because you need nowhere near as much money, if that makes any sense. Now, my second decade of opportunity was the dot-com site, far from places like Dubai, Singapore, Malaysia, and all I needed was a mobile phone and internet connection. And the reason I'm sharing this with you is because I can draw alliances between this and trading. In the case of trading, I could be sitting on the beach in Dubai and trading the largest and most liquid market in the world with nothing more than a mobile phone and internet connection. And that's why trading is such an amazing, amazing opportunity. Now, my third decade of opportunity is where I'm sitting at the moment. And I term this the decade of Forex and cryptocurrency. So just to give you a lowdown on cryptocurrency and the largest cryptocurrency in the market, which is Bitcoin. I'm just going to annotate on this graph. So if you can see my annotations, just drop me a 111 in the chat box and I'll continue. So Bitcoin was conceived in 2009 or thereabouts. In 2009, one Bitcoin was worth around 10 cents or thereabouts. The all-time high of Bitcoin was achieved in December 2017. In December 2017, one Bitcoin was around $20,000. So Bitcoin went from 10 cents all the way up to $20,000 in the space of around 8 or so years. Many people that I know who bought Bitcoin when the price was relatively low, and when I say relatively low, I'm not saying 10 cents to around $1,000, and sold at the all-time high, became instant millionaires. And all they did was hodl. Hodl is a term known whereby you hold onto Bitcoin. So just by holding onto Bitcoin, many, many people became millionaires. And all they had to do was keep it in their wallets and then sell it at the all-time high. Now, you're probably thinking today, no, the price of Bitcoin is too high. We can no longer use that same equation to profit from. However, at the moment, the price of Bitcoin today is around $7,000 or $7,500 approximately, depending on which exchange you look at. Now, if you were to buy one Bitcoin today and hold onto it for 3 years, 3 years from today, we are expecting, based on supply and demand, we are expecting the price of Bitcoin. Again, I'm only talking about Bitcoin here. There are 2,500 cryptocurrencies in the market, but I primarily focus on the large ones, and Bitcoin is obviously the largest in the market. So I'm just focusing this discussion on Bitcoin. So 3 years from today, we're expecting Bitcoin to hit a price of $200 to $300,000, and that is based on supply and demand. And also next year, May 2020 or thereabouts, we have something known as Bitcoin halving. Whenever Bitcoin halving has occurred, let me explain Bitcoin halving first. Bitcoin halving means that the supply of Bitcoin into the market is going to halve. At the moment, 12.5 Bitcoins are produced every 10 minutes. When Bitcoin halving occurs, that number is going to come down to 6.25. Historically, whenever Bitcoin halving has occurred, the price of Bitcoin has shot through the roof, and that's what you saw a couple of years back when the price went from around $3,000 up to $20,000, and we're expecting the same thing to occur towards the tail end of next year and the beginning to the middle of 2021, and that's why we're expecting Bitcoin price to hit around $200,000 as a minimum. Now, based on that fact and based on that knowledge, if you were to buy one Bitcoin today at around $7,500 and hold on to it for around 3 years, you would be looking at a profit of around $200,000, give and take, just by holding on to Bitcoin and not doing anything else to it. If you were to buy one Bitcoin today and trade that Bitcoin, which is what we do, we trade and hodl, so we trade and hold. If you were to trade and learn how to trade that Bitcoin, 3 years from today, your one Bitcoin could be worth 3 Bitcoins to 5 Bitcoins. Now, if I stay on the very, very conservative side, even if you made your one Bitcoin become 3 Bitcoins in the space of 3 years by trading, you'd be looking at a profit of around £500,000. Now, many of you are thinking, how can that be possible? I've seen it during the history of Bitcoin. Bitcoin's been around since 2009, and we've been trading Bitcoin for profit for the last 3+ years, and we've seen amazing success, not just ourselves, but also for our students as well. So just by holding on to Bitcoin and trading Bitcoin, you can achieve a massive profit. And that's why knowing how to trade and learning the skill set of trading, not just cryptocurrency, but also Forex, is extremely beneficial for your pocket. Now, just a quick thing I'd like to do at this time. Any earnings and income statements that I make and my company makes are only estimates of what we think you can earn. And again, like with any business, the more you put in, the more you will get out. If you treat this as a hobby, you will only ever achieve hobby profits. If you put your mind to it, even if it's 10 to 20 minutes a day, which is how I started, through persistency and consistency, you can become a very adept and efficient Forex trader. A little bit about currencies. The most common currencies traded are the ones I've listed on this slide here. Now, in my particular case, I tend to trade primarily these currency pairs: the euro, the pound, US dollar, and also the Japanese yen. I don't tend to trade all the hundreds of currencies in the market. In all honesty, you do not need to as a currency trader. And the strategy for a beginner trader is to pick 3 to 5 currency pairs, to study those pairs, and to become an expert on those pairs over a period of time. Now, again, like I said before, you do not need to become an expert on every single currency pair in the market. You can do extremely well from studying just 3 to 5 currency pairs. And when I say extremely well, I'm actually talking about the full-time living. Now, in my particular case, I don't spend longer than half an hour to 1 hour looking at charts and placing my trades. I tend to trade during the London hours, which start from 8 a.m. up to about 4 p.m. However, I am not trading for those 8 hours in total. I only trade between the hours of about 8 to 10 a.m. in the morning, and only for about maximum of 1 hour a day. And that 1 hour a day, or half an hour a day in some cases, is enough to derive a full-time income from. We have many students, single mothers, we've got property investors, we've got people working full-time businesses and full-time jobs who trade with us as well. because trading is so flexible, it's a 24-hour a day, 5-day a week market. It's a very, very lucrative way to earn a very, very good income from. We've got many, many people who have now dropped their full-time jobs to trade full-time. And again, when I'm saying trade full-time, it's not an 8-hour job. It's only up to 1 hour a day. And when I started, like I said before, I was only spending 10 minutes a day, 15, 20 minutes a day to learn how to trade. Now, if you look at the markets, you will have come across the terms bull market and bear market. A bull market is when the currency value is expected to rise, and converse to that, a bear market is when the currency value is expected to come down. When we have a bull market or an expected bull market, we place buy orders or we go long. So we're buying into the market. When the currency value is expected to fall, we place sell orders or we go short. And by knowing that, we can make money whether the market is going up or whether it's coming down. Whenever we do our analysis, we look at Forex trend lines. So when the market is going up, we see something like this. And when the market is coming down, we see the graph generally coming down. And when the market goes up, it's an uptrend and we buy into the market. And converse to that, when it's a downtrend, we sell into that market. Now, we actually have access to software known as the harmonic scanner, which maps out the patterns using analysis and algorithms. And the harmonic scanner that we have is around 80% profitable or successful, which means that 8 out of 10 trades are actually profitable. And this is extremely important because generally in the marketplace, 70% of Forex traders actually make a loss because they don't know what they're doing. And we actually have access to software which you can use from the outset to show you how and when to enter the market. And I'll come back onto that point later in this presentation. Now, when you're measuring profit in Forex trading, there's a term known as pips. Now, on average, we're making around 1,000 pips every single week from Forex trading. When it comes to working out what 1,000 pips actually means, you need to look at something known as lot size. Lot size is your risk in the marketplace. So generally, the higher the lot size, the more risky potentially that trade is. And the lot size is equated to the account balance that you have in your broker's account. So again, just to give you an example, if you were to have £1,000 or dollars in your broker's account, we would recommend you use a lot size of around 0.2. For a lot size of 0.2, you'd be making £2 a pip. So going back to the previous slide where I showed you that we're making 1,000 pips a week, you can see that we're, based on that calculation, we're making around £2 a week from trading at an average risk level. Now, obviously, we can use a much higher lot size when we're fairly confident that the trade is going to go our way. But again, we can use a lower lot size as well. But just to give you an example, based on that, you can see the kind of money we can make for a balance of £1,000. Now, obviously, many of us have a lot larger account sizes because we've been able to compound. And again, just to give you an example, if you were to have an account balance in your broker's account of £10,000, we'd recommend you use lot size of 2. And for a lot size of 2, you're making $20 a pip or £20 a pip, which equates to 20 grand a week from Forex trading. And you can very, very quickly see how profitable Forex trading can be based on what I've just said. Now, if you were to go online and search cryptocurrency, Forex trading, and those types of terms, there'd be a lot of reference to these things being Ponzi and pyramid schemes. And the reason for this is because the government and large banks and corporations do not want you to do this. 95% of the world population is going to die broke, and that equation has been around for donkey's years. 5% of the world population of 7 billion plus people controls more wealth than 95% of the remainder of the population. And for the government and banks to continue to function and keep you as slaves to the system, they do not want you to do things like cryptocurrency and certainly Forex trading. And again, when it comes to cryptocurrency, what you're going to see in the next 5 years is a lot more banks becoming bankrupt because cryptocurrency is going to render banks obsolete. And that's why they don't like it. And that's why when you go online and search these things, there's a lot of reference to these things being Ponzi and pyramid schemes, although they are nowhere near being Ponzi pyramid schemes. In fact, if you are in a job, the market at the bottom of any job is extremely crowded, and you're probably already in a pyramid scheme. Now, what we offer you is actually a learning and training platform. We actually mentor you and teach you how to trade the largest markets in the world. And we do this through our educational platform. A lot of the knowledge is imparted upon you through online videos, through live sessions, also through live mentorship calls. We have Zoom calls very much like the one I'm doing at this very minute every single day. So we do Zoom calls on various Forex and cryptocurrency strategies that you can log into once you become a member, once you register with us, that you can use to learn how to trade yourself. Now, like I said before, when I started trading, I was extremely busy and I didn't have that much time. So I only spent 10 to 20 minutes a day learning how to trade. Because I was running other businesses, I did not want to spend too much time. However, because I was persistent and consistent, over a period of time, over a few months, I actually became a very, very good trader. And when my trading income became higher than the income I was achieving in my other businesses, I decided to spend a lot more time trading. And that's why what you'll find is that a lot of people that are now trading full time have been able to jack in their jobs. Now, as part of the platform that we provide you with, you will also get the harmonic scanner, and this is our software. And just to show you, the software uses harmonic patterns to map out the uptrends and downtrends in any particular marketplace. So in this particular case, we're looking at the pound CAD, Canadian dollar pairs. And what the harmonic scanner provides you with is a set of numbers, as you can see over here. And all you have to do is log into the harmonic scanner and look at these numbers. You're given an entry point, a stop loss, which prevents you from making too much of a loss on any particular trade. And also you're given several take profit numbers. So what happens is all you need to do is copy and paste those numbers into another app on your phone. And that's your trade placed for you. The trade will then be automatically closed once it hits profit or loss. You can manually close that trade if you're happy with the profit, but generally 80% of our trades are positive, which means that 8 out of 10 trades that you place will give you a good profit. And that's the harmonic scanner for you, which you will receive as part of the platform. You also get access to several apps that sit on your phone. And these apps, again, provide you with trading ideas or trading alerts or signals, whatever you want to call it, which are effectively 3 numbers. You get an entry number, a stop loss, and take profit number. I've actually personally created several videos to show you how you can copy and paste and place those trades into the app on your phone, and thereby over a period of time become quite a good trader. Now, we have apps that not only give you Forex trades, but also give you trades on cryptocurrency like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ripple. Now, because Bitcoin is such a volatile currency, you can actually achieve over 1,000 pips in a single day on Bitcoin when it's moving rapidly. And just to give you an example, recently we placed, I think it was a buy on Bitcoin,